than we'll actually get once we come out to them. For instance, my parents were mortified that I would tell my grandparents, and I was too, but once I told them, they were really cool with it. My grandfather said, "You're still the same person, you just look a little different." And that's really the response I got from a lot of people. Now, of course, that again, that's not 100% the case. There's always holdouts and there's always assholes, and you I would say you'd be hard pressed to go through transition without having some hard times. There are going to be some. Um, Another piece of advice I have: if you are employed and you have not transitioned and you want to, before you do it, make sure that you are a valuable employee to your employer. Make sure that you are indispensable. Then come out. If you do not yet have a job, understand that even though it's not legal to turn you away for employment because you're transgender, the sad reality is it's going to happen. So if you haven't transitioned yet and you're not employed, try to get a job first. You're going to need that money for transition anyway. If you have transitioned or are in the middle of transition, I mean, you got to play it by ear. I can't really give you any advice there. Um, Another thing is, if you're having difficulty finding a counselor in your area, or you feel like you're completely happy with who you are inside and you want to transition and you don't feel like you should have to go to a gatekeeper, contact your local Planned Parenthood. Many of the local Planned Parenthoods now are offering informed consent treatment. You go in there, they'll show you a video, have you sign some papers, letting you know the risks of the hormone treatment that you're going to go under, and they'll prescribe it to you. You don't have to go to another doctor or a counselor. That too will save you some money.
Right. Actually, here, just for listeners that might be here local to Northwest Arkansas, the Planned Parenthood here in Fayetteville doesn't do transitioning, but the one in Tulsa does, and I think that they're also an informed consent, but I'm not sure on that. It's a little bit of a drive. It's like 2 hours from here, but if folks need an option, that is there. So if they get a hold of the Tulsa Planned Parenthood, they can probably get something started up there.
You know, here in rural Tennessee, we have people that drive 1 or 2 hours just to see a doctor, not even Planned Parenthood. Because in some small towns, and because Tennessee now has a law that says counselors can turn people away for religious reasons, sometimes it's hard to find someone that's a provider.
Yeah, it can be. And as far as therapy goes, I'm just going to throw another one out there, especially if folks are afraid that the therapist is going to have issues because of religion involved. There's also the Secular Therapy Project, that they're another really good source of getting you hooked up with a therapist that's not religious, that is secular and goes for science-based therapy, so you don't have to worry about getting someone's religion pushed on you during this whole process. And they're at seculartherapy.org. They're another good resource for that.
Now, for anybody that is going to transition, I do recommend you go to a therapist. Not because you need to make sure that you want to transition or you need somebody to change your mind, because we go through so much shit until we get to that point. We're really flawed by the time we would decide to transition. It's always helpful to have someone to be a sounding board. It's good to verbalize your feelings and your problems, and it's good to learn tools to help you deal with the way society is going to treat you.
I couldn't agree more on that personally, just from my own experiences. I'm seeing a therapist myself for other issues beyond the transgender transition thing, and I've found it's been immensely helpful. And I know there's this, I don't remember the exact statistic, but there is one about how even transitioning doesn't always significantly cut the suicide rates, oh wow, that was awful, of transgender people. And I mean, I feel like part of that is that, you know, sometimes you get this idea in your head that once you transition, once I'm this in the gender role in the body that, you know, I matches how my brain is, that okay, everything's going to be better, and it doesn't really work like that. Like, yeah, some things got easier for me when I came out and started living male full-time, but I still have my other issues just from how I grew up and all that they haven't gone away. They still can cause problems for me, and therapy has been immensely helpful for, dealing with the other stress in my life. So, I mean, I'm all for just seeing a therapist just, to keep everything else mentally on the up and up, and yeah.
If you're miserable before you start transition, if you're miserable the day before you have an affirming surgery, you're going to be miserable the day after. You got to take care of that at some point.
Yeah, you can have a healthy body, but you kind of need to make sure that your mind is also in the right place to go with it.
Right. And it's a good idea for people to see a therapist, regardless if they're having some kind of issues. But especially, I would say, in probably in transitioning, it's doubly important because you're going through. I would think that the changes that you're going through, that some of the reactions that you're going to be getting, you'll need to kind of work through that with someone that you can talk to, that you can trust.
Yeah, you can't keep it to yourself. I mean, you can, but it's going to hurt. You really do need somebody to talk to. And it's great if you have a friend, not necessarily a therapist, but a friend that you can go through this with. Somebody that you can call at the end of the day if you had a rough time, somebody that can go with you when you have to go out in public. It really helps to have someone there. You don't feel so alone.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, another thing I was going to ask you about, because I noticed on your Facebook page after you accepted my friend request, that you had a really nice T-shirt collection. I really love the T-shirt. I referred to it as the T-shirt heard around the world. I think that was the first picture I saw of you. But I want to know where you get your T-shirts.
Yes, please share.
Everywhere. You think I get them from one source? No.
Damn it. I was hopeful.
T-Fury, Redbubble, eBay. I don't know. I usually try to post a link of wherever I got something.
Okay, because I really loved a couple of your shirts. The Star Wars one in particular, I think you had a
Which
whole.
Which
one? I would have to go back and look through the pictures again to remember exact one, but I think it was one that you had a Millennium Falcon on it.
Was it the 77?
Yes.
Yes. I ordered that, and it took 3 months to get.
Oh, wow.
Where were they shipping it from? The Coruscant?
Oh, man. What about... I know also you do cosplay. You played a mean Power Girl. That was some of the most awesome cosplay I've ever seen. What are you doing this year?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
I'm going to Dragon Con here in 5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to have time. Since last year, I started going to school full time, and so when I'm not at work, I'm supposed to be studying. I just don't have time to do anything.
Well, what are you studying?
So. I'm trying to finish my degree in computer science.
Okay.
I'm probably the most overpaid non-degreed software developer in Tennessee.
You mean they have degrees in Tennessee?
Yeah, people that start from another state and they move here for some reason. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It's kind of like here in Arkansas, because you know that the toothbrush was invented in Arkansas, because otherwise it'd been a teeth brush.
No, that was Kentucky. Pretty sure.
You sure about that? No. Oh, so have you seen any of going back on the fandom a little bit more, have you seen any of the superhero movies that have come out this year?
Have I not seen any? No. Of course I've seen them. Let's see, what am I missing? Is there something out right now? Oh, no, that's Star Trek. Yeah, I've seen everything.
Okay, well, how was X-Men? Because I didn't get a chance to catch that one yet.
It was very fast-paced, very simple storyline. It's really good.
Okay.
What was really cool, in the last 2 minutes, you get to see all of the characters in their comic book costumes.
Oh, wow.
Wow, it's about time those made it to the big screen.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, Cyclops is in blue spandex with a yellow belt and yellow visor. All the others as well.
Nice. I was getting tired of all the identical black leather.
Oh, so what did you think of Deadpool this year?
Oh, I loved it. It was hilarious.
I think so far that's been my favorite. I wasn't a really big fan of the Dawn of Justice that just came out. I really didn't like that one too much.
Okay. I enjoy a movie for its entertainment value. I'm not so much of a purist that I can't enjoy it. But I have to say, on the way back, my daughter said, "Did you notice that Ben Affleck looked really weird wearing a shirt?" Yeah, I think you should have just left it off the whole movie.
Now, I have to admit, I was actually impressed with Affleck's Batman. He did a lot better on that than he did as Daredevil a few years ago.
He was a beefcake in this movie.
He was. I wasn't as pleased with Henry Cavill, but I've not been a real big fan of him as Superman, or as I call him, Sweater Man, because of that. He's like got that Chia Pet coming out the top of his Superman outfit. That just no, I can't.
His chest?
Yes. I
hadn't actually noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't go there with not for Superman, because Superman is just supposed to be the perfectly clean cut, chiseled, and the squirrel in his shirt was just not doing anything for me.
Come up with a different euphemism for that every time you mention it.
Well, I like to be creative. I'm hoping
that you should say squirrel in a shirt, because anytime that I have too much to drink, my bra ends up disappearing, and people say it looks like there's a squirrel running around in my shirt.
The day the squirrel went berserk. Oh, sorry.
No, but back to Gal Gadot did a really good job. I was really surprised. I did not want to see her in that role. I was looking for somebody more athletic, somebody more badass, but I still thought she did a great job.
I think she did really good. I was really pleased with Affleck's performance. I still don't think Zack Snyder should be directing Traffic, much less a movie, but to me, he seems like the M. Night Shyamalan of the DC universe. He just had one hit with 300, and nothing else has really panned out since
but 300 didn't really have much of a plot. It's the Spartans go out and they, oil themselves up and fight people and look hot doing it, and then they get slaughtered because of some deformed...
Don't forget the beards.
Yeah. Oh, yes, how could I forget the beards?
Yes.
Okay.
A very simple plot as opposed to what he tried. I don't think he even tried at all with Batman versus Superman, where it's like...
Now,
how did that even...
One thing I can say is the plot lines in Batman versus Superman was very complex. There was a lot going on. Something like X-Men Apocalypse, it's a pretty straightforward story. Do this, find this guy, and get rid of him. But in Batman versus Superman, there was the thing with Lex, the thing with Batman, the thing with Wonder Woman, resurrecting Zod. There was just a lot going on.
I just feel like it got to a certain point where it was like too much going on in the hands of this director. So I had a very hard time following the different threads of the movie. So in that case, I probably would have preferred something simpler, and then had a few more DC movies. That would be great. Well,
it was kind of like when you watch that one, that I like the way that Eli Bosnick put it, that it was like you were dropped in the middle of the fifth movie in a series of movies and hadn't seen the rest of them before you got there. So they would be talking like something to be like, yeah, you remember when we did this in this movie? Nope, sure didn't, because we didn't see that one. So it was just I just was not very happy with that. I'm hoping they do better with the Suicide Squad. It looks like it's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to that one.
And Batfleck's going to be in it as well.
Yeah, I've saw that. Down, boy.
No.
Oh.
Better take his shirt off in this one too.
Well, he probably will.
Excellent.
Now, Civil War was really, really good.
Yes, I was very impressed with Civil War. Marvel has just been on this hot streak recently, and I mean, it's just for their movies they've been doing great.
Don't talk about what they're doing
with
the
few
comics.
exceptions, Marvel characters are like regular guys that have come upon some power somehow or some skill. And DC, not so much. I mean, with the exception of Batman, who would be the equivalent of Tony Stark, most of the DC characters are imbued with some special power that mere mortals can't acquire.
Yeah, well, it's modern mythology, pretty much.
And you also notice something else.